Dit is Marie Sukers, lid van die parlement van die ACDP in die nasionale vergadering en jou verteenwoordiger in die portefeulje komitee van basiese onderwys. Starting this Thursday in Limpopo, the Portfolio Committee on Basic Education will begin hearing oral submissions on the Basic Education Amendment Bill, called the BELA Bill. A lot of attention has been focused on the powers of school governing bodies that the ANC government wants to restrict, the consumption of alcohol on school grounds, and the impact of this bill on homeschooling. This meant that a very dangerous and insidious clause has been missed, and we need all our ACDP members, people of faith, all Christians, and people of goodwill to raise the alarm. The proposed clause 41 allows the minister to make regulations concerning learner pregnancy. These regulations would be made in terms of the policy on the prevention and management of learner pregnancy. The policy goal is to provide sexual reproductive health services, including access to effective contraceptive technologies, in association with social sector partners to enable learners to make informed choices, avoid unintended pregnancies, or as necessary to obtain abortions. This policy also sets out that referral and strategic partnerships will be established and coordinated with the social sector and other support organizations to facilitate access to appropriate support and referral services. These support services include healthcare, medical treatment, counseling, and support. As contraception of all kinds and abortions are considered by this government as healthcare or medical treatment, this means these strategic partners are able to refer school children as young as 12 for abortions and all forms of contraception. These referral and strategic partners are able to provide appropriate support, information, and referral services to children, but this can all be kept secret from parents. Not only is this fundamentally wrong and evil, but it will expose vulnerable children to abuse. A teacher can abuse and eventually impregnate a girl and then refer for an abortion to kill the consequences of his crime. The government will say sexual abuse will be reported, but how easy is it for a teacher with power over a child to tell them to say the pregnancy was the result of consensual sex with an older boyfriend who ran away? We already know from the pro-life movement in the US how pimps take young girls who've been sexually abused as well as having been sex trafficked for abortions, and how abortion providers do nothing to protect the girls. This has been exposed by the pro-life activist Lila Rose. Let me make clear that all of the above is not what is going to happen, but it could very well be happening right now, because this policy went into effect in November 2021. I have constantly been opposed to this policy, and recently in Parliament, the ACDP called on the DBE to provide figures on how many learners were referred to institutions that provide contraception or abortions or access to contraception or abortion. I am still waiting for the answer. This policy was only a preliminary step. The BELA Bill, if passed, will allow the minister to make regulations. Regulations will have the force of law. So if you do not obey, you will be breaking the law. Not only does the minister want the power to make regulations, but also the power to send anyone to jail for defying them. We know that when CSE, Comprehensive Sexuality Education, was introduced, teachers were coerced to offer CSE even if it went against their conscience or their beliefs. If BELA goes through unamended, The second part of Clause 41 will give the Minister power to create offences that carry fines and jail sentences of up to 6 months. This policy promotes comprehensive sexuality education. And so it is even possible that teachers who are opposed to teaching CSE could face penalties or be pressured to resign or face charges for refusing to teach CSE. We do not know what penalties the government will impose or for what, because while the Minister wants the power to make regulations, she is not saying what those regulations would be. She wants a blank check from Parliament over your children. On top of this, teachers or anyone at a school could be jailed up to 6 months if they fail to abide by any regulation she makes. Once again, we do not know what the Minister has in her mind unless we are shown the regulations. Even if the current regulations do not include provisions that will punish teachers for not referring learners for abortions, once the Minister has the power, there is no guarantee that she will not use it in the future, and there are few safeguards to stop her. I am asking you to stand up to stop the school abortions bill. I am asking parents, teachers, and SGB members to go to public hearings and to oppose Clause 41A and B. Those are the amendments to Section 61 of the South African Schools Act that deal with granting the Minister regulatory authority. We say neither the state or their strategic partners have any right over your child, over our children, and certainly cannot undermine the rights of parents. The family is still the biggest and the safest and the strongest unit to turn our country around. Make contact with your ACDP branch. Make contact with your ACDP chairs so that you can make your voices heard at the public hearings on the BELA bill. This is Mari Sukers, your ACDP Member of Parliament. Thank you.